Well, you know, growing up, I really didn't have much awareness of the drunk driving issue, and really came into consciousness about it when there was this rather unfortunate and completely avoidable incident that occurred in Texas. Basically, there was a group of teenagers that had gathered for a house party after homecoming, and they had a keg, and the police were called because of noise disturbance, and police got to the house and determined that there was underage drinking going on, and so they told everybody that they had 30 minutes to leave the house, that they were going to go park outside, and anybody who was not vacated in 30 minutes would be arrested. And so that had the consequence of putting all these teenagers out on the road, and everyone managed to avoid arrest, but unfortunately one of the vehicles with several teenagers in it was involved in a crash, and this young lady was rather severely injured. She was paralyzed for life, quadriplegic. So from a homecoming party, overnight her entire life was devastated. And after that incident, I just thought, you know, how ridiculous, how unproductive that strategy of law enforcement was. Now, I've been living in Denton for about 16 years, and been down on the Fry Street Strip a lot. Spent a lot of time down there, wrote a couple of books down there, and when Big Mike's Coffee Shop opened up as a 24-hour business, I started thinking about it, and maybe there was a way we could address the drunk driving problem a little more proactively. And so I was aware of the work that Mothers Against Drunk Driving had been doing, and to their credit, I think they've done a good job in increasing public awareness of drunk driving as an issue. And you know, they've sponsored several pieces of legislation to help crack down on it. But most of these laws are essentially reactive. They don't stop anybody from drinking and driving. They arrest people and incarcerate people after the fact. And so I wanted to come up with an idea that was a little more proactive. And so what we did was we founded Baristas Against Drunk Driving, BAD. And what we do is coffee shops that are located in bar districts, coffee shops that have late night hours, will basically sponsor after hours happy hours, where they don't compete directly with the bars, and they put out coupons that give these late night 2-for-1 coffee specials, and they distribute these coupons to the bars. Now, on the backs of these coupons is all of the taxi information, the safe ride information, pedicab information, so people have immediate access to being able to contact these companies and get home safely. So basically the bars distribute these coupons to their customers, you know, at the point of bar closing. Because what happens is, you know, people go out drinking with their friends, bar closing time hits, it's last call, there's nowhere else for them to go, nothing for them to do, and so they go home, and they put other people in danger, they put themselves in danger, they risk being arrested and having a criminal record which will follow them around for years. And all of this is really unnecessary when you have coffee shops that will stay open. The bar patrons can go after the bars close and spend some time in the coffee shops, sober up, and be safer once they do get in their cars. So we kind of saw this solution as being win-win for everybody. The coffee shops are able to generate more revenue and more customers during their off hours, and the bar owners are able to obtain a layer of protection on liability, because if one of their customers goes out and injures or kills somebody, the bar owner will be able to walk into court and show that they're doing something that's above and beyond, something that's proactive to address the issue. And the general public gets safer streets.
Preventative might be a good word.
Preventative, yes, exactly, preventative. And the bar patrons themselves, they have an alternative that allows them to drink responsibly with a clean conscience and avoid getting a criminal record. So we saw this as a very easy sell when we started going around with the coupons to the bars down here on Fry Street, and every bar that we approached was willing to participate in this program immediately. And then we started branching out beyond Fry Street because the taxi services are available all throughout town. And so now we have bars in the downtown square area and in other sections of Denton that are more remote. And so almost immediately upon starting this program, the media jumped on board, and we started generating some newspaper coverage and some television coverage. And within 2 months, we learned that a spontaneous chapter had sprung up in New Orleans. So it looks like this is an effort that will pretty rapidly go national, which would be great. And really, the only entity that loses out in this scenario is perhaps the courts that aren't going to be able to generate as much revenue from issuing DWI citations. But you know, when weighing that against people's lives, people's safety, you know, drunk driving is people don't have bad intentions when they do it, but even without those bad intentions, they can absolutely devastate people's lives, people's families. There are kids going around without parents. There are parents going around without their children. And all of this is avoidable. It's totally avoidable. And I think rather than just respond to it in a reactive manner by punishing people after the fact, I think that communities can get together and be more proactive. There are communities in which volunteers have started carpools. Here in Denton, we have the Denton Pedicab, which basically offers people free rides. You know, the drivers sustain themselves off of tip revenue. So really, we've removed any reason, any excuse people would have for getting behind their wheel when they're intoxicated. So I hope that the bars who are approached with this will continue to be open to it and think outside the box, and that way they can still function as business and do so with a clear conscience. Do something to make the community safer.